I am here today with Mr. Rick Ventura, one of the earliest members of the classic hard rock band Riot. Rick played with Riot from 1978 to 1984, appearing on the classic albums Narita, Fire Down Under, Restless Breed, and Born in America. Rick has put a band together that goes by the name of Riot Act. And on April 1st, they will honor the legacy of Riot by releasing a 2-disc set of music called Closer to the Flame on Global Rock Records. And Rick, it is an absolute honor to have you here.
Oh, my pleasure, Scott.
Yeah, Closer to the Flame. You know, I put this thing on, and it much like Guy's voice, it jumps off the page. This entire thing is just the production on it is fantastic. The voice, Don Chaffin, just like Guy's voice, it jumped off the page at me.
Yeah.
It is something else. It's a full record of originals, which is really cool. Bonus disc has Riot classics remade with this band, and it's an arsenal you have in this band for sure. Let's start from the beginning. Kind of how did you get the band together? What were you doing after, in that interim period when you left Riot and you started this band? Were you doing sessions on other bands locally, or what were you doing exactly in the business? And how did you get this band together?
Well, after my period with Riot, it was I got together with some friends and played with some friends and just worked on originals. And it's a struggle. After that period of Riot, we sort of had enough. I sort of had enough. We had so much bad luck. It was just ridiculous. Everything was, the history of the band. It was just ups and downs, and then it started to peter out, and I was really just like sort of fed up. But I was still playing. I just played various bands, just for fun, really, just for the sake of playing with friends and having a good time playing. Various projects, originals, and playing some covers that I like to play, but I always in the back of my mind I said, I have to, something's got to happen one day. I never lost hope. It was just like, I'm just going to keep plugging along, and maybe something will happen. And that happened when the former guitarist of Riot, Lou Kouvaris, he had, it was always every once in a while, just the past maybe 4 or 5 years, he would ask me to get together and do something, just to play the old tunes, whatever, and put something together. He goes, we should do something. We're the only one of the few original members left.
Yeah.
And I was reluctant, because I was always afraid of, you can never recreate, the past as good as it was. And so I was always afraid of that. Then we were inducted 2019, I think it was, into the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. And I was like kind of blown away, for us to be honored like that. And it seems like we influenced, I started to realize this years later, influenced a lot of bands. So we were inducted into this Hall of History, metal history. And after that, I looked at Lou and I said, maybe we should do it. And he had a big smile on his face. He was like, finally. So we talked about it, and we got together, and I was playing with Paul and Claudio from the new band at that time, because Lou was saying, hey, who should we get? So we had like an instant band, and we started to play the old tunes, and it just sounded really, really good. There was a lot of energy there, and our guitar styles complement each other so well. And it was fun to play with Lou, because I had never played with him in Riot. You know,
Right.
he left after the first album. I came in on Narita, and so it was kind of a thrill playing with him. You know, we really, really enjoyed it. And then the following year, we went back to the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame, because we were asked to perform there. We did two old Riot tunes, Swords, Tequila, and Rock City. And it was the first and only time we've played as a band. And it went over really good. I thought we sounded really good. Band sounded tight. It had a lot of energy. And 2 months after that, it all went downhill. We passed away from COVID.
Yeah.
And everything came to a halt.
In true Riot fashion. You know,
oh boy, yeah.
I don't know what it is with this band, but you, like I say, I mean, you changed the landscape for me, but you did that for, I think, everybody who laid ears on this music. It did influence so many people. I hear it so often, you know, especially the Fire Down Under album.
Right.
You know, all of those early albums are just, you know, they're flawless pieces of hard rock. It's just, and then, you know, the wheels coming off, and you guys always fought through a lot of that.
Oh yeah. We
yeah.
were determined.
Yeah.
We were determined. You know, at that point, we were unstoppable. And unfortunately, I mean, you know, Guy left the band at Fire Down Under right at the peak. We were touring with Rush. So that was kind of devastating. But we, you know, we came back. We got Red Forrester, and we came back with Restless Breed. So, you know, we had a lot of fire down under in us.
No doubt. And Restless Breed, another album that just, you know, changed everything again for me. Just a fantastic record. What was your feeling? I know, you know, it was devastating to lose Guy. You get Rhett, and then you're still on fire with writing these great tunes. And it's, you know, that you had to be pleased with that Restless Breed album, right? What were your thoughts on that, on the whole change to Rhett's style?
Yeah, that was well, when you change singers, that's always a rough thing to do, because the fans identify with the sound. You get your initial fans from the sound of that band, and it's, you know, the singers really, you latch on to the singer. You know, Guy was so unique. I mean, nobody sounded like, you hear one line and that's like, that could only be Guy.
Yeah.
He's very unique. That's what makes a great singer. So we knew, wow, we're going to have a real problem here. We're really not going to find that. So Rhett was Southern boy, more blues influenced. And we just went with that. He had stage presence, charisma, and he actually interpreted my songs quite well, actually. So there was a blend when I give him a song, and Mark liked it too. So I think there's some good stuff on Restless Breed.
Yeah,
I enjoyed working with Rhett.
Yeah,
but it was, you know, it was different, you know, and there's fans of both periods. You know, some people don't, you know, they'll like both. Some will like Guys, some will like Rhett. You know, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's strange because, you know, I those two records in the catalog, I mean, I love all the records, really, especially those early ones. Fire Down Under, there's really, I mean, that's the blueprint for rock, for hard rock, you know, from any band. I mean, that's just a perfect record. But Restless Breed is a close number 2 for me. I put those together all the time when I listen to Riot. Those are the bulk of what I'm listening to is from two records. So you know, I there is a difference, obviously,
Yeah.
in the voice, but it is the same band. You know, I really you know, I listen to them seamlessly. It's not like I'm switching from one band to another.
Mm,
It's all Riot, and it fits together
right.
wonderfully for me, for sure.
Yeah, the album gets overlooked sometimes because everybody, you know, every mention is Fire Down Under. You know, everybody writes a
Right.
review, and that was the peak. I guess that was, you know, the peak. You know, that's why. But there's some good stuff on Restless Breed, so I'm, you know, happy with that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's good to hear. For the new record, Closer to the Flame,
Mm,
you like Restless Breed, like Fire Down Under to Restless Breed. There's a difference, but it's Riot all the way. I mean, this Closer to the Flame record, it just, you know, the title cut is just, it's so Riot. I mean, it's so
mm,
Riot. It's classic Riot. And that is, it's sharp. It pierces your ear when you hear it. uh Don Chaffin really channels that. You know, of course you have those guitars, and you guys are, you know how to tune into that Riot sound. But you know, like you said, vocally people latch onto that. He's there, he is in
yeah.
that realm. I mean, he is just in the moment. Did you get the same chill down your spine? I mean, I put this record on, I got a chill down my spine instantly, and hearing that voice. When you heard his voice, did you get that feeling like, oh, this is it?
Yeah, yeah, I'll tell you exactly when the chill came. Um, when when I were trying to figure out, wow, who are we going to get to sing? A friend of his turned us on to Don, and so we sent him, I think, 3 songs or so, 3 or 4 songs, and then we met in the studio, and we just started playing, and he just started singing, and it was just like I looked at Lou. I just, while we were playing, I just had this big grin on my face. I just like, I looked over at Lou and like, holy crap, this sounds amazing.
Yep.
It sounded, I just felt like I went back 30 something years and I was in Riot again. It just sounded, yeah, he really captured it. He really related to it. And
Mhm.
he, you know, he heard of Riot. I think he might have heard. So he really didn't know a lot about the band, you know,
Okay.
but he just really channeled those tunes.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just said to each other, wow, we have something really good here. And Don was impressed. He goes, wow, you two guys on guitar sound so great, and the band sounds just so powerful. And we said, all right, we have something here. Let's go forward. And you know, and then we, as we were going forward, Lou passed away, and everything came to a stop. So
Yeah.
yeah, we had to get back on the wagon again. And after a number of months of deciding, because I was freaked. When Lou passed away, I was like, oh, this can't be. This is just too much. This is just the fourth original member of Riot that's
Yeah.
gone. And it's like, you know, you start getting these wacky thoughts in your head. It's like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this anymore, you know?
Right. Right.
But and I had a lot of music in me that I wanted to get out. The guys wanted to play, and they all knew there was something good here. So we had a talk, and hey, you know, let's do it for ourselves, for Lou, and let's just move forward. And when we started writing Closer
Yeah.
to the Flame, and
Wow.
one of the first tunes was Wanted, which we released as a single and video. I think that sort of captures what the band's about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. Now, when you were doing this, when you know, and you first put the band together, was your goal in writing these songs? Did you have a specific goal? Were you were looking to capture the Fire Down Under sound or anything like that?
Not at all. I think that's because I constantly write riffs, chord progressions, and I document them all, and I listen to them. and stuff that, really, if I like it, I'll go with it. If there's some things I'll do and I'll say, just cast it aside, whatever. But I have a good catalog of ideas, and I really sort of just block that out of my head, whatever. I'm just going to write what I write. If it sounds like that. I mean, I was in Riot for many years.
Right.
I was around. I was friends with Mark. I mean, I knew them before the band, in the very early stages of the band when they were doing covers.
Right.
So I guess it's so embedded in me.
Yep.
and whenever I would send Don a tune, he would just write back to me. He goes, "Oh man, this is great. Have something for this. Wait till you hear what I have for this." And it was like that with every song on the album. Everything I sent him, he was just like, "Oh, wait till you hear this. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I have a killer chorus for this." So I was so excited, but he would never send me snippets. So I'd be going, "Wow, well, I want to hear, what is he doing?" I would get together with Paul and Claudia, and I'd work out the ideas with them. And then we look at each other. "Oh, what is, I didn't know what Don has," this was during COVID, so everybody was kind of,
isolated. And
yeah, I did stuff at home. I did a lot of demos at home and sent them out. So when we finally got together, and we did one song at a time, because it was a very unusual recording process during COVID. It was very strange. But when we started doing Wanted, it was just like, wow, it really was coming together. It just sounded so powerful. It was just reminiscent of that energy that Riot had. And that's what Riot always was about. It was a high energy, hard rock band. And that's what I've always been about. And that's, I guess, my style. And it just comes out like that. So if it sounds like that, that's why.
Yeah, and that's well, you're a huge part of the Riot sound, and that's obvious with this record for sure. You mentioned recording riffs and keeping them and stuff. For this record, did you go back to anything that you had written from the period of Riot? Do you still have ideas from that time?
There's one or two ideas that worked their way into stuff that was never used.
Yeah.
After Riot, I would say after stuff that I've been writing throughout a period. But then you get into this when the band was really getting back into the groove, and we started to record, and we worked on Wanted and then a few other of the new tunes. You get on a roll, then things just started coming. A lot of new ideas come out. I think the title song, "Closer to the Flame," came out pretty quick. It was just like, it was just like one of those things, it just came out, and it was like, wow. I think it's one of Don's favorite songs.
It is incredible. Really,
things just happen.
Yeah, and I would say that you realize what the band can do once you get initially in there and you start recording, like you said. You realize what the band's capable of.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody contributes, and it's just like, it's so cool to hear them come alive.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed, in high in the mix is Paul Ranieri on bass. The guy is a monster.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I mean, he's playing like a lead part, and it's powerful. It's a big part of this music on Close to the Flame.
Yeah, no doubt. I remember because we decided to continue as a three-piece. We didn't want to replace Lou, and we just decided to continue like this. I remember saying to Paul, I said, you're going to take on a different role now, probably, because I remember saying you're going to be more like a John Entwistle on bass, and he's he's just beyond the beyond. I look at sometimes I look at Claudio and I'm, what is he doing?
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
is all over the place,
yeah,
and
it's really really cool bass lines. Yeah.
yeah, really tasty stuff. And like I say, the mix is fantastic. Did you produce it yourself?
We all did. We
Okay.
all did. We all
Yeah.
did in our studio, and yeah,
It's
all hard work.
it is a great production. It really is.
Well, thank you very much.
The guitars are super sharp, and like I say, I love to hear that bass high in the mix, because a lot of times, it's, is there a bass on there? I don't know.
Mm.
People see it as less important sometimes, I think.
Oh no, no.
It's a huge part of this record.
Sure.
Is really great. And I noticed at the end, now is it right that he played with Mark Wood for
Yes.
a long time?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
electric violin player, for those not in the know.
Sure.
Crazy great
Yeah.
violinist. At the end of the record on Rock, Love and Roll, there's
Mm.
a small violin part. Does that happen to be Mark
Yeah.
Wood?
Yes, it's a cello part. No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
not. It's not him. No, no, no.
Yeah.
We had
That's
Paul had written that ending, and we had somebody play it for that. We thought it was a cool idea to the end of the tune and the album.
it is. It's really cool.
Little, yeah, little twist.
Yeah, and it closes the album, so
Mm.
it's just a little piece of kind of an artistic flair, if you will.
Yeah, it's like, wow, what's gonna come next from these guys?
Yeah, seriously. Now you got Claudio Galinsky on drums. Claudio played with Paul, correct?
Yes.
And okay, and that's how you got him.
Yeah, we played together. We would had like weekend gigs, and we go out and play, and we just gelled. I remember people would say, "Wow, for three guys, you guys sound pretty damn full."
Yeah.
So when Lou had said, who are we going to get? I said, wow, Paul and Claudio right here, and Claudio was a Riot fan, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, that is really cool.
That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
he would tell me stuff about Riot and the bands that we influenced that I didn't even know about. I mean, I knew some stuff, but he would say, "Why you guys influenced so many bands from all different parts of countries," and so it was like kind of cool.
Yeah. Back in the day, they wanted you to be a little more radio friendly. Forget that hit, the Journey REO kind
Oh
of
yeah,
thing, or
really.
even Makeup. They just wanted to change the band, get you out there. Was that ever talked about, ever considered?
Nah, we would just, five guys from well, originally from Brooklyn, and we would just,
Yeah.
jeans and t-shirts, sort of like the Ramones, but playing hard, heavy music.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never were flashy or makeup or spandex. I never got into that.
No, it's you
More
always.
sweet,
Yeah, I mean, you were stayed true to who you were. And it reminds me kind of, Metallica was doing that early on. They wanted them to release singles. They never released singles. They wanted videos. They never
Yeah,
did. It was, they did what they did, and they stayed true to it, and they lasted.
yeah, record companies always want something. Yeah.
Right. And I love that about Riot. It's, it's that true. I feel like I'm getting Riot. I'm not getting some corporate, plan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Here, thanks.
The Capitol Records deal was a big part of Riot history. The petition, really unique thing. Tell me a little bit about that period of the band, and that was a struggle, I know. And there's a song, "You're All I Needed Tonight."
Yeah.
And that kind of played into it. So yeah, go over that a little bit. It's really interesting time.
Yeah, I had written that song, and Capitol, they liked it, and because it was a bit commercial sounding, I guess, and They wanted to release that as a single, but our managers decided it wasn't a good idea. It really upset the record company when you sort of tell them, what they can't do what they want to do. We're going to tell you, and we essentially were nobodies. So they were very upset with that because they wanted something commercial they could sell, and they really just said goodbye. Whether we should have released it or not, we might have still stayed on Capitol, but we wound up going to Elektra. Elektra picked us up, but there was a fan at Elektra, an A&R guy, Tom Zuta, and he was a fan of the band, really liked the band. So we wound up on Elektra, luckily.
Wow.
And they promoted the hell out of the album. And there was always conflict with management and record companies, which I think was part of the downfall of Riot. It was a very rough period.
Yeah.
Whereas the business end of it.
Yeah. But the petition.
Yeah, the petition. We had Gary Main sign it.
I mean, that is just, and that was fans grouped together. Yeah. I mean, it just to let the band go from your Capitol deal.
Right.
And that has that ever happened to anybody else? I mean,
we set a precedent there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked, luckily.
It's crazy. I see that, and it was so officially done, and so powerful to see fans actually grouping together and standing behind a band on a record deal.
Yeah, think about it. And this is, decades before social media.
Right.
Now, the power you have now.
Yeah. I mean, now you push a button and you got millions of people at your fingertips. Right. Back then, it wasn't like that, and it was the hard work from everybody who signed that petition and worked to stand up for the band, and that was something special. It really was.
Yeah, definitely amazing period.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's good.
Have you heard from any other former members? We got Riot 5 out there, and I think that they're still active.
Yeah.
Have they contacted you, or you've been in contact with them concerning the release of the new material?
Well, one of the reasons probably some of this started, Riot would never go, after I was out of Riot for so many years, it always somehow worked its way back to me somehow. Somebody would say, oh, you'd run into somebody, oh, you were in Riot? Wow. Years later, and they would start naming the songs, and they're, oh, such a fan, you guys were great, all that. And I'd always get this throughout the years, and then you read publications and stories about the band, and you start thinking, wow, I guess we were a bit more important than I even thought, So about the time Mark was ill, Mark Reality was ill, and they were about to play BB King's in New York City, and I was going to surprise Mark. I hadn't seen him in years. We had spoke maybe once or twice on the phone. I actually talked to him about getting to the original lineup together, and he was receptive to it. And I was on the verge of convincing him to do it, but it didn't happen. So I was going to show up at the show and surprise him, but he was ill and he never made it to the show. And Riot, the guys in Riot 5 called me and asked me if I wanted to come and do a song. And I was like, wow, and I didn't play, I don't think I played a Riot song like 30 years.
Wow. And
I went there and did Swords of Tequila. I think I did Warrior, and it was great. And it was great. And afterwards, I come on stage. I was hanging out on the side, and I saw a whole bunch of people lined up to meet me and ask for an autograph. And I was like, what? I was like blown away. And there was two guys from Europe, I think Sweden maybe, and they were going, wow, we came to see Riot, but never in a million years we'd have thought we'd have seen, you when we were there, at the show. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's really, really something, and it sort of lit a fire in me. And but nothing, this was still, Lou was really started to touch base. In fact, Lou appeared, and we did another guest appearance with them, with Lou and I. And that was kind of cool. So I think that's where really Lou start contacting me and say, let's do it. And then in 2016, they asked me to perform in Japan at Loud Park Festival, which is a huge, huge festival. And there was White Snake on the bill, Scorpions. So we did the Fire Down Under album.
In its entirety.
That entirety, yeah. So that was a blast. That was a blast. And the fans, they were unbelievable. I mean, they were so into it. And it was my first, time really going out there, playing all those songs, after so many years. So it was, I just felt really good. And meeting the fans afterwards, and that was a real trip. And then the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame induction. So things just started to evolve and led up to Riot Act. Just happened. It wasn't planned, like, by any means. Nothing was planned. It just sort of happened.
Yeah, and it's great. And you still keep in touch with those guys from Riot 5 and.
Yeah, well, Mike Flint's the guitarist appears on the bonus CD.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
It was nice enough to play on I think it's 49er. Yeah. So there's 12 tracks there. And they're great guys.
Yeah.
And he appears on it. And that's going to be cool for fans to hear the 12 old Riot tunes.
Yeah, it's like a greatest hits package.
And Lou's on there, so that's kind of nice. So people can hear
that's special.
One night together, at least it's a tribute to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you got a busy day, I'm sure. A couple more for you.
Yeah, sure.
Your fondest memory of being in Riot. We think about Riot, we see all the tragedy and the wrong moves or whatever it might be, and the bad record deals or management or whatever. But there's so many great things that have come from this band, at least for fans. What is your fondest memory of?
It's. I have to say, besides, right. Issues with the business side of it, it was really a blast 90% of the time, 95% of the time playing with guys, because it was such a cast of characters. There's such a cast of characters, so it was just the five of us hanging out. I mean, anything could happen. It was zaniness. So those were the fun times, hanging out off the stage and just being silly, because we were so young. And it was but a thrill was touring with some of our idols, playing with Sabbath and Rainbow. I grew up listening to Richie Blackmore, and then to tour with him, Geezer Butler, and hanging out with him, and that was like those really memorable times that you'll never forget.
Yeah, that's great. That's just so awesome. And it's so awesome to see you back in the saddle and doing this thing. Are there plans or a desire to tour?
Oh yeah, we have a tour in the works right now. We'll be going to England in August, the end of August. On the 22nd, and then we're going to Spain first week of September. So this will be first gig in 2 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so we're really thrilled, excited about that. And there's talks of a tour in the States afterwards. So that's in the works. And we're working on new videos. We'll have a new video coming out by the time the album's released. April 15th was in the States. So we'll have a video to coincide with that. And we'll be working on new music.
Man, it's in full swing, my friend.
Yeah. It's like a locomotive, just going forward. You're not going to stop us.
It's so great. It's so great to hear, man. It's so great to see you and hear you on this record. It's incredible. I know Don has a lot of things going on. He's part of
busy. Yeah.
Red Lamb, which is a thing. He's gonna be touring with you when you put the band together, and
No, he's full speed ahead with this. This is his baby. I mean, we're all on board for this. Yeah.
That's excellent, man. It's hard to get the semantics of it, to get to all the the logistics planned out on touring, and everybody's got their own thing. So I can't wait to see you guys here in the States and Chicago. Don't forget about Chicago, please. And I
can't wait to play in the States. I'm dying to play.
Yeah,
I'm dying to play anywhere.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yes, man, and
it's been too long.
Fans are dying to see you for sure. It has been too long. I was just looking at the record and that photo on the back, and I said, yeah, that's Rick Ventura right there. It's you're a piece of wonderful rock and roll history, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Pleasure talking with you.
You too. And there's more music coming, and we got Closer to the Flame. For everybody out there, I'll put links at the bottom. Rick Ventura, thank you so much. It's an honor.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Okay.
More videos and music to follow. That's a good news.
All right.
Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.